So hi, my name's Wedge Martin. We're a different kind of AR company. We've done a pretty massive pivot, but we started out as a pure AR shop. Had the fortunate chance of meeting Brian early on, and he was quite a visionary and helped steer us in the right directions. He said, maybe try this and stop doing that. Good advice like that along the way. So we one of the first things we did was an application called GeoPapyrus, and GeoPapyrus is it's a fun app. It's for iOS only, but it allows you to overlay real surfaces with media, and that could be video or still images or audio. We linked into the iTunes store, so you can put audio from the iTunes store on top of a surface. So anyone using the application or using their camera, they can see that content playing on top of whatever that unique surface is. So that didn't go over super well, and we picked up on Glass. Glass was coming out at the time, so we had a couple of developers kits, and we did an AR hack for Glass. And Brian was mentioning some of the first videos you saw of Glass. It showed everything in your immediate vision, all this incredible translucent overlay. So when we figured out a way to hack Glass to do an actual AR app for it, no one cared. They thought, but that's what Glass does. We saw that video that came out a few months ago. So what we did was a terrible hack. We figured out that Glass used the outside camera, the external-facing camera, for Hangouts. And when you use the Hangout plugins, it's mirrored within other people's view of you within the Hangout session. So what we did was we did a server-side hack that would tie into Hangouts, and we would hijack your video stream, and we would do image recognition through that, and do the actual overlay on top of it. Completely ugly hack, but it got us some recognition in a TechCrunch article, and that was pretty cool for us. We also had the legal department at Google call us, which was less cool, but they were very nice about it. So a little more background on how this company came to be. My last company was in the gamification space. We launched in 2010 at TechCrunch Disrupt. Very fortunate turn of events. We won the Audience Choice Award, and has anyone here competed in the battlefield? It's a great opportunity if you haven't. Great launch platform. We had no intention of really getting involved, but we were kind of pushed that way by Mike Arrington. And after winning the Audience Choice Award, we had 1,500 leads come in the next week, and we had 4 people, with 8 arms and a couple of telephones in our office. So we figured we better hire some people and raise some money. We ran into Maynard Webb, who said, we can pretty much close an A round for you quickly with this kind of momentum. And we had some pilot customers and all that were paying for the platform, which kind of helped us with the judges at TechCrunch. So anyway, that company did really, really well, and I felt like we missed the mark. We wound up raising $40 million. The company's still around. They're doing really well, but they're laser focused on gamification. And I learned a lot from that, particularly that you can get all this interesting data, but unless you're surfacing it in contextual ways, unless that messaging is relevant, you haven't done much with it. There's a lot of data that's thrown on the floor these days. So we built a back end for the GeoPapyrus platform and for some of the clients that we'd been picking up, and what we created was a rules engine that would ingest a whole bunch of contextual data, primarily in the way of geolocation, because a lot you can learn about someone from the types of places that they visit. So we merged with a company in Santa Cruz, which is the hot tech spot now, if you guys don't know that yet. Got to carry our CEO in the back there, made her smile. But we merged with a company that had some clients, and they said, there's a lot of value in this context engine and being able to process this amount of data and surface messages in real time. So we invested more in that than the actual end user application. So now we are a contextual engine. Context is everything. We're full 100% believers in that at this point. So we want to power these experiences because really, AR is just the new way to ingest media, and I think I strongly believe that everything is going to be via wearables. It's going to be in your full field of vision. I think the technology is very nascent now, but just seeing what's here today compared to last year, it's amazing how far these companies have come. So we have a couple of bids out in these big franchises that want AR apps, but they don't quite understand the space yet. They want better engagement, and so we're talking to some companies like Blipper and saying, hey, why don't we partner on this and you guys do the mobile development and the AR experience, and we'll do the context engine to help you surface the relevant material. So it's more of a business platform at this point. The company that we merged with in Santa Cruz had a client, the very large client in the social networking space. I use that term loosely, but they're the second largest mobile network in the world, next to, I think, Facebook. They're huge. They did 138 million chat messages last Sunday. That's a lot of conversation. I think I've maybe said 138 words in the past week. But so they were a great platform for us because there's a lot of data you can get. It's a mobile application, and we started building these psychographic profiles from people based upon their public venue types, and that surfaced a lot of very, very interesting things for us. So we were able to go back to their CEO and say, look what we know about your users, and look how marketable this material is. You can tell on a particular Thursday night in any city where you should drive people within these demographics by, whatever data that we've got on them. That could be, their health and wellness people because they go to the gym 3 times a week, and the type of food that they buy. There's a lot of things that they can do through the app that give us more and more rich context. So in our demo with him, as a fortuitous turn of events, we said, here's what the cascade of user recommendations looks like, with our engine powering your back end. And 2 of the faces in the cascade looked very similar, but it was based on all this contextual data about these individuals, and it turns out it was one person with the same, with 2 different profiles, 2 different accounts. But you wouldn't have otherwise seen that. So we're starting to, just really scratch the surface. Clients for us that have POS systems that actually tie into their mobile applications are very interesting because we've got all these different facets of someone's existence that we can use. We've been talking a lot to casinos. For some reason, we keep interfacing with people that are tied into this industry, but casinos are great because they're really pushing the limits of technology. A good example of this is, the questions that they ask us, and we say, well, why don't we factor in these things? And it kind of builds into something that sounds diabolical, quite frankly, but brilliant. So one of the use cases was, you've got a couple that they come to the casino once a year, twice a year, and the husband likes to gamble, the wife doesn't. She's more into the entertainment, and they want to pull these people, keep them within the walls of their casino and optimize their returns. So they know that statistically, if someone's at the table and they're up X percent, if they keep them there for another half an hour, we're gamblers, we're stupid, and we're going to give back some of the money to the casino. So how do you do that? How do you distract them? Well, the wife hasn't gone to the spa yet, and every year when they come, she spends 2 hours in the spa, and, based upon the rules that they configure in our engine, someone in the field, or someone on the floor, rather, gets a message that says, go tell, Mrs. Donovan that she has a 2-hour free complimentary spa treatment. Another guy gets a message saying, go tell John that his wife is taken care of. He's welcome to stay at the table for another 2 hours, and by the way, would you like another Mai Tai? So, yeah, scary stuff. So this has been it's been pretty eye-opening for us. So we've we're investing in mobile 100%, which is one of the things I thought that we should have done more in my last company. But they're mostly a web-based platform, and they're picking up some mobile clients now, and they're doing quite well. But so this is where we see mobile as being, this is where we are today. We've passed the number of personal computers with smartphones, and we think wearables is going to be, the next big slice in the middle of that pie. So we're investing a lot of time into that, but we're leaving the brilliant hardware design and the AR app experience, to our partners and customers. So all about mobile contextual data, if I haven't said that enough times already. There's so many sensors that we can pull from. We've experimented a lot. It's funny, Brian, I think he's been reading our blogs or something, because one of the areas that we've seen a lot of interest in is racing. So with the ghosted guy there, there's horse racing. It's a big industry apparently in Australia. It's some gargantuan billion-dollar industry. People are really into it. So every year when the Melbourne Cup happens, the country shuts down, kind of like the World Cup in Brazil. So that's being able to put sensors, deploy sensors, and really triangulate where something is. There's a lot of value in that. But I mean, listen to Brian for 10 minutes, and you'll hear 10 other good product ideas. So pick one and run with it. I think this is the right time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to cut cut mine short. But we're all about capturing all of this interesting data, merging it, and being able to surface message in real time. And it's a big challenge. Processing all this contextual data is difficult. There's a lot of great database platforms, a lot of great technologies out there now that are giving us the ability to do this. Big data is a buzzword that's thrown around a lot, but being able to get it right and execute on it well is extremely valuable. So, and that's where our chops are. We're not so much the mobile developers, but we are definitely a big data shop, and we're full-time focused on how do we get context and make meaning of it. So any questions?
Any questions? All right, there's one up in the front.
When you navigate through big data, hi, Greg Panos here. When you navigate through big data, I guess you're looking at AR as an aid to tagging and classification of big data, so you can make determinations about it. So some of our natural pattern recognition capability is greatly assisted by these technologies. For immersive big data navigation with VR, have you looked at what kind of computer graphic models or 3D representations of big data tend to be or catch on as popular instruments or capabilities in being able to see and intuit real or true or certain information in the data that you're looking at?
So is this from an analytics perspective, you mean?
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out, graphically, what is your feeling towards graphical analytics and AR and VR?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we do is not super specific to AR, right? I mean, being able to surface relevant messaging is valuable on any platform, but we feel that the consumption mechanism will be through augmented reality. So we're not so much focused on what that visual experience looks like, but in sending the right visual experience to the user at the right time. And in VR, it might be a new path throughout a game or through a virtual shopping mall that's recommended based upon a user's previous experience, or the cohort analysis in real time based upon their previous purchases or what have you. Just being able to provide that information with the relevant messaging through our client applications. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess you add the sort of secret sauce of relevancy and certainty as to the attention. Right.
Cool. And there's one
Any
more.
other questions for Wedge?
Okay, so my question is related to mostly recognition thing, right? So for any scene and any tracking, like there is for NAR, there is like a recognition engine used. So do you support anything like which contextual analysis helping the recognition process in AR?
When you say recognition, are you referring to image rec?
Image rec, scene rec, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have our own technology for image rec. We don't, we're not really looking to package and sell that, but it is part of our SDK suite. So when I talked about the GeoPapyrus example, that's something that uses our image rec technology so that we can uniquely identify a surface. If someone places an advertisement on the side of a building in downtown Manhattan, anyone using the app should be able to see that. And so what we do for that technology, and we can talk about this further, if you like, find me afterwards. But what we do is we geofence the data, and we just store very small image rec signatures within the cloud. So when a client moves within that region, they only pull down the relevant image rec data.
Yeah, so this is like a geotagging is kind of most trivial one. What about this which is not covered by, is not possible to cover with geo aspects, right? I'm mostly interested, like I'm in the store or I'm in some public place and there is multiple objects which can be augmented. So this type of any contextual information around that. Helpful.
Yeah, we combine geo with the image rec of whatever the location may be. And then whatever media goes along with that based upon the user's information. So you might see something differently when you walk into a Nordstrom's from me because you've been there before, you've got a purchase history. I'm a new user, they know I'm male, they've got my Facebook login and whatever information we can glean information from and customize the messaging. But that's it's really a combination of all of those things, not just image rec or geolocation.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Wedge. Round of applause, please. And next